Well, the seniors coming up next. Their qualifying heat 1, 11 laps, the longest races. Whistle blows, engine fires up. Let's take you through the full starting lineup for the first OKN senior race of the weekend. It is Spain's Luna Flucha and current championship leader starting on pole position. Hugo Heron starts alongside. We'll have Sebastian Corpen and Ella Latamar alongside. Wojciech Woda and George Nassar rounds out row number 3. Then it's Jakub Mikulev and Maximilian Rafalik on row 4. Felipe Caras and Pip Casabene round out row 5. We'll have Jean Caras and Hamza Al-Fayez on row 6. Marcos Shilkunis and Austin Gale go from row 7. Charles Lambert from Gianna Pascal round out row number 8. It's Gianna's first time here. Gazi Motlaka and Sofia Sanfari finishing in the 9th row of the grid. Peyton Westcott and Elizaveta Kozlova round out row number 10 in the top 20. They'll have Charlotte Page and Franciszek Zielecki rounding out row 11. Brix Strovino and Alessandro Biggi round out row 12. They'll have Bernardo Minoldi and Anastasia Genesis on row 13. Rahim Alabai and Yana Kapoor round out row number 14, giving us an All-American row 14. Adam Sador and Isaac de Melwyk go from row 15, rounding out the top 30. Casper Bonda and Charles Troxler round out row 16. Then it's Truly Adams and Romeo Nassar on row 17. 34 karts in this category. Drivers making their way round the circuit. And again, reminder for this one, the Champions of the Future Academy program, a 6-round championship this season. We've already had 2 rounds in Europe. This is the 3rd and final round of the European stage. We do head to the Middle East, to the likes of Dubai. We head to Al-Ain and, of course, Al Fassan to round out the championship. Certainly going to be a very interesting season here, with 3 new circuits for some of these drivers, but some may be familiar with the Al Fassan circuit. Drivers are lined up. Are we going first time of asking? The answer to that is yes. We are green and racing down in towards turn 1. Great start again for Flucha. Corpeng sliding into 2nd place. Hugo Ron has to settle there for 3rd place as off the track, unfortunately tumbling down the order. Couldn't quite see the kart number as they made their way through. We'll try and find out who that is. The 232 off the track, that is Brix Trevino, unfortunately out of this race as he's going to try and get that one restarted. Certainly not the start he would have wanted. Back at the front here though, Flucha leads the way and is looking confident here right now. And confirmation there, Brix Trevino unfortunately out of this first qualifying heat of the weekend. We'll get a 2nd attempt later on today. And unfortunately will make his way into Marshall Post 2 out on circuit. Across the line they go. It's Flucha, Corpeng, Woda, Heron and Mikulev, the top 3. Woda to the inside, denied the chance of getting through, and now is under pressure from Hugo Heron, who's trying to push his way back past. He's not able to find his way through. That allows the likes of Jakub Mikulev, Ella Latamar to get back up through. We go on board with Ella Latamar, who is there currently battling in P5, has only dropped down 1 spot in this race, is in the toe of Hugo Heron. They're going downhill now through the likes of turn 11, 12, in towards turn 13, then climbs back uphill here now, the long stretch down the 180 meter straight. Now they're coming into yellow flags there, into the final hairpin, and there you can see there are karts off the track there on the exit. And, well, I think they could be, well, is that, I think that's Rahim Alabai. Unfortunately, the American in his first appearance here this weekend, I believe is out of the race. And I think also the Australian Charlotte Page, one of the Discover Your Drive initiative drivers, out of this race as well, unfortunately in P32. It's all kicking off here though. Wojciech Woda and Hugo Ron battling away as they try to hold on to position here. Sofia Sanfari now with the fastest lap of the race. Starting to push her way through. She is currently 18th. She's not gained or lost any positions at the moment. Still in a really strong position here, though. Back down into the final corner, and actually we have gone red flag. So the red flag has gone out on circuit. So not sure as to the reason why. We have seen drivers going off the track into the final chicane, but we've seen those drivers standing up and okay. Only one other driver has tumbled down the order, but that was the 246 of Hamza Al Fayez, but we're unsure of who the driver involved is. But as you can see, medical teams making their way out onto the circuit. So we do hope all the drivers are okay out there, but there you can see the rest of the field now stationary on the start-finish line. At that point of the race, it was Flucher leading from Sebastian Korpeng. Wojciech Woda was up into third place after gaining 2 places. Hugo Ron from Ella Latama, who was currently P5. George Nassar and Philippe Carras, Maximilian Rafalek and Pip Casabene, with Jakub Mikulev running out the top 10. The likes of Philippe Carras has not yet won a final, came second in the first final in Valencia, though, for Philippe Carras. Now, of course, they will be, well, if there's any drops out there, she will take photos of them. Post-race, 5-second time penalty will be added. But I think in this part of the race, I think 5-second time penalties for any drop nose gets added now. And then it goes on to their total race time at the end. Well, we'll see what happens there. Right, drivers being gathered up. I suspect we may be having a quick briefing with our race director, Martin Bean, before that red flag did go out. There's the live on-board view from Finnish driver Ella Latama. As the yellow flag heads out, we'll be under slow procedure for the restart of this one. Single file as the drivers will get restarted very, very soon. There you can see most of the karts right now have fired up. They're all good. And, well, we'll see what happens with the rest of them as they get themselves going. Some karts being a bit slower to get away there, but it looks like all of them get fired up. Well, that is good to see as the drivers make their way across the start-finish line. Definitely a tense time for the drivers. But there it looks like they're all good. Well, one kart there not going and is pulling into the pit lane. Now, is that Isaac de Melwyk? I think it might be the 216. No, it's not Isaac de Melwyk. Who's that? The 216, not going any further. That is Anastasia Genesis, unfortunately. Oh, that is a big shame. The driver who had some fantastic artwork on the tyres, which you can actually see on that rear tyre, unfortunately, will go no further. Now, they're going to get it onto the trolley. Now, are they going to try and repair something here? I think they are. Now, that's a hammer going to one of the track rods there. So I suspect that may be a slight tracking issue with the car. It's a very unorthodox way to do it. That will be a brief fix, of course, but that won't be the straightest track rod that you'll see out there. So that might make it still a little bit wobbly out there, but certainly will give her the best opportunity to maybe regain some positions there. All the field then, apart from a handful, have restarted this one. They are heading around into the top section of the track. Now there are static yellow flags out there indicating that we are good for a green flag at the end of this lap. Drivers again making their way up the hill now into the highest part of the circuit. It's Flucher, Korpeng, Wojciech Woda from Heron, Latama from Nassar, Mikulev from Carras, Rafalek from Casabene, Philippe Carras, that is, from Casabene. Then it's Jean Carras in 11th place from Gazi Motlaka, Marcus Shilkunis in 13th place, ahead of Austin Gale, Charles Lambert from Jeanne Pascal in P16. No real big moves in that one. Charles Strockler was the biggest mover, 11 places gained. We'll be restarting this race in P21. Well, welcome back to everyone who's watching from around the world. If you have just tuned in, we have just ended a red flag period. We are about to get back into green racing conditions, though, for the first OKN senior race of the weekend. We are green flag and racing, and it is a good jump for Flucher. It's a better jump, though, for Heron, who tries to dive round the outside through turn 2, but it's denied from Wojciech Woda, who stays there in 3rd place. Defensive will go Flucher. Korpeng might get the switch back here on the exit, but just hasn't got the pace on the exit to get alongside. They stay 1, 2, 3, 4 as they dive their way into the highest part of the circuit. It's all downhill here now as they head through turns 9, 10, into 11, into turns 12 here on the exit as they go into the second lowest part of the circuit of turn 13. Down the 180-meter, back straight, they climb uphill once again into the late braking zone of turn 14, and action in the background there. Lattimar has closed in and is trying to go for the moves there, but has stayed in P5. Breakaway here, Flusha and Korpeng, second to none right now, are broken away from the rest of the field and are clear by half a second. Voda was not able to latch on to these two, and he has stayed there in P3. But again, only one change here, only one move from Korpeng, if he can get the move done, might result in the rest of the pack closing in. But Flusha right now, well, once again, like we saw in Cremona, like we saw in Valencia, Luna Flusha here has got some immense pace right now and has broken away by 0.3 of a second alone on this lap. Out of the final corner they go. Back onto the start-finish straight, still Flusha from Korpeng, Voda from Heron, Lattimar from Mikulev, Karas from Nassar, Rafalak from Casabene, Motlaka up into P11, out of Austin Gale, Jean Karas in 13th, from Marcus Jokunis in P14. Changes happening thick and fast throughout the field on this one. And again, the driver's looking quick all the way throughout. Marcus Jokunis currently purple in Sector 1 on this one as Hugo Heron sets the fastest lap of the race. Earlier on, Wojciech Voda got through, and he's going to get through again, this time on Sebastian Korpeng, and moves up into second place. Wojciech Voda now is on a charge here. Can he close into Luna Flusha, though? That is the test, as the gap's 0.4 of a second. Korpeng goes defensive from Heron. That battle's getting close as well as they cross over the line. Lattimar under pressure as well from Mikulev. And again, that battle's raging on behind. Mikulev down the inside, gets through into P5. Lattimar, after starting well, dropping down the order now. We go on board. We just see there a change further up the grid as we climb up the hill now. And, well, through the inside there, just leaving the door open. Philippe Caras able to squeeze through. There it just shows this track is quite wide. It's difficult to defend here because it is fast, it is flowing. There are so many places to get the overtakes done. And these drivers right now are figuring that out as this weekend goes along. Defensive goes Philippe Caras in towards turn 14, into the hairpin. Through the final corner they go. Flusha leads the way, but confirmation is being closed in here by Wojciech Voda. This battle for the lead is not over yet. Flusha, who has had a near dominant season so far, is now starting to feel the pressure here because Wojciech Voda, that gap down to 0.2 of a second. Jean Caras, now the fastest driver out there, 48.888, is starting to close in. There's a look at Wojciech Voda's results in this one. Cremona, not what we want to see, but Valencia, 28th in the first one. But look at the difference. 4th in the second one. It shows the pace was there. The result, though, was not in Valencia. So for Wojciech Voda, a very experienced pilot. And right now here at Franciacorta, putting that into work. Now the gap has stayed nearly identical between these top two as they break away. Hugo Heron has started to close back in as well, so we could have a three-car battle for the lead here. But we are on lap 10 of 11, so if Voda's going to do anything here, he needs to think about doing it soon. If Flusha wants to hold on to this one, I think the main thing she needs to do here is stay focused, look ahead, and don't take a defensive line. As soon as you start to take a defensive line and start to look over your shoulder, it gives a green light to the driver behind. They know that you're feeling vulnerable. They know that you're feeling a little bit weaker out there, and they go for the moves. But right now, we're not seeing that from Flusha. We're seeing controlled driving all the way throughout. She's checked over the shoulder now, understandably, because we're going on to the final lap of the race. She wants to see what's happening behind. If we aren't going to see a defensive line, it will be on this lap, as she does go slightly defensive there. On board with Ella Lattimar, who sees, well, a little bit of contact up ahead there, and yeah, that's not gone well at all. And round going some of the drivers, just tumbling down the order. Eyes on this one. Checker flag is at the ready. We are on to the final lap of this race. Top end of the circuit now. going in towards the final sector. Sector 3 now as they come down the hill, hit the apex of turn 13. Down in towards turn 14, big check over the shoulder. Not close enough though. Voda's going to have to go defensive to cover off from Hugo Heron. So the first race of the day is going to go the way of Spain's Luna Flusha. She'll be delighted with that one across the line. She takes the win ahead of Wojciech Woda. Hugo Heron finishes in third place ahead of Jakub Mikulev. Felipe Caras finishes in P5 after a gain of 4 places ahead of Ella Latama. Sebastian Corpeng dropping to P7. George Nassar from Gazi Motlaka. Jean Caras finishing in 10th place. Pip Casabene from Maximilian Rafalek. Austin Gale finishing in 13th ahead of Marcus Shilkunas. Elizaveta Kozlova rounds out the top 15 on circuit. But there, Luna Flusha on your screen. Definitely the result she will have wanted here. That strong performance at the start of the season is carrying on over into round 3. And the first qualifying heat of the day for the senior category ends with Luna Flusha on top, Wojciech Woda in second, and Hugo Heron in third place. Well, the result they definitely will have wanted. I'm sure smiles all around as the field makes their way back into Parc Ferme. Of course, checks will happen for the drivers. All of this is provisional. There is a look at the top 15 on circuit. We went over that one. Elizaveta Kozlova rounding out that top 15. 6.7 seconds down from the rest of the field. 16th place downwards sees Charles Lambert. Bernardo Benoldi finishing in 17th place after a gain of 8 places. Adam Sudor, 11 places gained, finishes in P18 ahead of Gianna Pascal. Rounding out 19th place, Romeo Nassar finishes in P20, a gain of 14 places. A good result after not a great qualifying